Hello and welcome to WRLDS TV. We are streaming live from the Stockholm studio at our usual time of Thursday, 5 p.m. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're going to talk about innovation as a service. Innovation as a service. We have in the studio Katarina Wangler Björk. She is the head of innovation at EY Nordics. So, if you have questions about how to convert ideas into solutions, how to commercialize innovation, please drop them into the comment section on either Facebook or Twitch. We will answer all your questions, hopefully within the stream, otherwise after the stream. But ask lots of questions, make some comments, let's get involved. Let's cut to tech news. All right. Today on Tech News, let's talk about blockchain. BitTorrent owner Tron announced it's going to invest $100 million in blockchain games over the next 3 years. The San Fran and multi-based Tron wants to innovate within emerging blockchain and cryptocurrency technologies, and it knows that games are usually the first thing to take off on new platforms. Tron says their mission is to bring blockchain to the mass market. And in an interview with TechCrunch, they note that games lead the way to make smartphones and virtual reality more accessible. So now it's happening with blockchain. They plan to build a blockchain game ecosystem using its currency that is valued at $994 million. Not bad for a year-old company. Helsinki-based Matchmade has raised $4.8 million in Series A funding for its platform that will match influencers with, such as YouTubers and Twitch streamers, with brands and game companies. Alongside the funding, Matchmade will be opening an office in the USA, led by an early Twitch employee, Jordan Soma-Taylor. Taylor himself regularly streams to Twitch and has a following of more than 43,000. Instagram announced this week that they're adding 2 new features for visually impaired users. The first is automatic alternative text. So that will give audio descriptions of photos that users come across in their feed and also on their profiles. The description will be based on a list of items that appear in the photo, generated by Instagram's object recognition technology. And users will also be able to create their own custom text, which will be read to users when they scroll through or click on the photo. And last of all, also happening in tech news is we are now approaching phase 2 of the WRLDS Hackathon. Chris, are you in the control room? Chris is about to take the seat. He's just heading through. Those of you who were watching us last week, we announced the 7 finalists of the WRLDS Hackathon. We're now to phase 2 of the hackathon, and 5 games have been shortlisted and are now available on the Google Play Store. All games are in the running to win a bit of prize money, a lot of prize money, and you can make a difference. The first, hello?
Hello!
I'm just telling people about the giveaways for the WRLDS Hackathon.
Oh yeah, I hope you saw the show last week.
Last week,
If you didn't, go back and check it out.
Totally, they were so good.
Yeah, I'm still in shock and awe. There was a lot of really cool games there.
Yeah, and they were made in 2 weeks.
But there was no, I'm not sure if, for those of you who remember, we were actually talking about a specific Christian prize.
Oh.
That was going to be awarded to me, but I didn't get it. So I'm gonna raise this
I mean, I thought we could have.
I didn't want to talk about it then because it felt awkward. But there was apparently only 3 prizes that was given out, and we really were talking about that.
Right. The Christian von Helen prize.
Special prize.
Special. Was it a special prize?
I think it was a special prize. It's for those who had the intention of trying to do something but didn't.
Aha. Okay. And you won that prize.
I definitely won that prize.
Yeah.
But
okay.
that was amazing. Like all of my ideas, I think, all
Yeah.
of the like, and so much more were actually were actually being done. That was pretty crazy. I'm still like, woo.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm out of
I'm
ideas
like,
now. I don't
you're
know
out
what
of
to do.
ideas. Does that mean you still get the prize?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. As long as you get the prize,
Yeah.
we're happy. Okay. And also, what's cool is that all 5 finalists who made it to the second round are going to get a prize too. The first game to reach 100 downloads is going to win $3,000 US.
Right,
And
how's it going? Do you know?
Well, I don't know. I don't have the latest data, you know. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
The game's been up on Monday. Yeah, it's apparently, and I checked this today, the competition could just go on forever and ever and ever. Like, there's no cutoff date.
There is no cutoff
There is
date.
no cutoff date, which is
Oh my God. This is
amazing.
going to be the world's longest hackathon
Exactly.
prize.
Exactly. But then again, like you only have to get 100 downloads, right?
I think it's doable.
Like, I think
someone is gonna hit that pretty
right,
soon.
right? Or maybe they'll just get like a surprise 50 years from now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh my God.
Maybe they'll just
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That would be so sad. Like that would be the saddest.
Chris.
No?
Chris.
What?
As the winner of the Christian
on,
Von Talent
50
prize, I don't think
Well,
it's.
I won the
don't think
prize.
it's-
I have. If you don't win the prize in the coming weeks for 100 downloads, just ask your friends. Goddammit, right?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have 100
can
friends.
ask me.
I don't. You're like
I'm
you're
gonna-
naughty. You're
Ask me.
naughty with these. This
We'll
type
promote.
of. You're
Okay,
you're the
if you
found.
give us 50% of the prize, we'll promote you specifically on the show. Right?
I did not hear that. I did not hear that. Anyway, head over to the Google Play Store, look up WRLDS CREATIONS. I did not
Download
hear
all
that.
of them. Okay,
I mean,
to be fair, download all of them. They're all great.
just-
They're super. Yeah.
Okay, let's get Katarina in here.
Cut,
Okay.
cut.
All right. Okay. Who's ready for Katarina? Who's ready? What's that? You're ready. Okay, here we go.
I'm ready.
Welcome to the sea, Katarina Wangler Björk.
I'm applauding in the background here. Oh, beautiful. What a perfect timing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so nice to have you. We have this little like interview rolling video,
Okay.
but it always tends to come back in the middle of someone still walking. It never flows the way we intended. This was the first time I think it really like
Beautiful.
that was what we
Beautiful.
wanted. It happened.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nerby is saying something. I think. Can you?
Nervy?
Is your
Oh.
eyes sharp enough?
Hey, how are you guys doing today? Oh, how are you doing today?
Very well. Very
Yeah?
well.
Christian?
I am fine. I think I'm good. YouTube is not so fine though.
No?
I want
Why?
to tell everyone that's watching on YouTube that you can't see this. Go to Twitch. It's my normal way of announcing. For some reason, YouTube has been having problems with our stream for actually quite some time. It's not the end of the world because we upload the done episodes, but you can watch this on Facebook. You can also go to Twitch. If you're on Facebook, I really recommend that you go to Twitch. Twitch.tv/WRLDS CREATIONS. It's like 5 seconds faster.
5 seconds faster.
Yeah, I was checking it out today.
Does it mean that it talks like this then?
Yeah, exactly. It moves a little bit faster.
Okay.
Time moves faster.
Oh.
Okay.
There.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you can like
intriguing.
have them both open and get an instant replay if something interesting happens.
Wow. We can also do instant replay for
We can
for
do
YouTube.
ourselves.
Go backwards. Oh my
Yeah, okay,
goodness.
this is gonna be a weird
Oh
stream.
my goodness. Yeah. We're innovating.
Yeah.
You see what we're doing here? You see what's going on?
It's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It will be
Whatever the result becomes.
perfection.
Is this the kind of innovation you're doing at EY Nordics?
Yeah, yes. Always. Every day. From morning to evening.
But okay, I always struggle with the word innovation. I always have my arms crossed because I'm going, that's not innovation. What is your definition of innovation?
Yeah, the easy. I mean, I'm quite a soft one. I like broad definitions. So it could be like an old problem, an old need, but with a new solution, or a new way of solving old stuff. So it could be like you take something from one industry and put it to another, and then it works.
Okay.
I mean, Uber is an innovation, or was, but I mean, the need, transport, it's not like it's something new.
It's been around for
It's
a
been
while.
a ride for a while, So it's finding new ways of old problems.
Yeah. But that's interesting. Is there anything that has just exploded a new type of need, you would say, for people?
I don't know. That's a good question. New type of need.
Like, are we getting? Because at some point we must, right? Because you know, if you look at the Maslow kind of needs,
Yes.
we are having so much more top needs
Yeah.
that we can develop solutions for. But like, still, it's hard to say. I mean, people wanted to be entertained for a long time, so maybe not a phone or you know, like this communication. I mean, communication, entertainment. Maybe that's also hard to argue that it's new.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe it's more like there's like a bigger need for something, or that we see that more people want to be seen or confirmed in, for example, social media. But the need, I mean, it's been there also in the Maslow pyramid. You need like someone confirming you and liking you, loving you. But there's another totally new arena for doing that and getting that.
We have more.
Getting the love.
So we have like more time to spend on that need.
Yes. And you
Before we
have
were just
a
like,
lot of lovers out there.
Screw that! I want food, and you spent your whole day, you know, trying to find strawberries. I don't know why strawberries.
And cow, maybe.
Find cow.
Find cow?
That's your quest for the day. Go find cow. Yeah, it has changed quite drastically. Yeah, but the needs are probably the same, like you point out. Like it's not necessarily something new.
No, I think so. I mean, then there's like climate change. We might have had that historically as well, but maybe that's bigger now, and there's a bigger need to reduce CO2 emissions, for example. So those kind of needs are new in a way, but not really.
So do you have an innovation department within EY?
Yeah, not really. I mean, we have a program, so our purpose is to help our clients to stay relevant, to navigate innovation and change, and for us to stay relevant. I mean, we're a quite old company, 150 years or something, so we have a lot of legacy, so we need to disrupt ourselves. So we have like a team in the Nordics that works to enable all our employees to become better in innovating both what and how we do stuff, but also helping our clients to innovate. So yes, we have a team, but we also have all the employees doing innovation every day.
Cool. And I can say here, Robert Mitchell says, "Hi guys, sorry I'm late. It's completely
Robert,
fine."
is it though?
We are.
Rob, did you?
she's right.
Did you?
What happened?
Right.
Why are you late?
I mean,
You're gonna cry here.
I mean, neither of you guys were sitting here at the beginning of the show, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I feel like you don't. You're being.
Honestly, she put a lot of
Was
work
it
into the
okay?
beginning. It was kind of a solo thing, and then you come in when it's
You
done.
just,
Well, you can watch the replay though. It was awesome. It went
it
through
was
some
really
technicals.
good. It was really good.
So it was
Robert.
really good. Yeah.
So,
It was awesome.
so don't do it again.
We recommend it. Don't ever do that again.
Ever. Robert.
So, like, going back there to just innovation, like, and and this is one of the questions that everyone answers, and it's asked again and again. We kind of said, what is innovation a little bit, but how do you become, I mean, how do you keep people innovative? You know?
Yeah.
How do you keep them from growing very stale? And you're talking about, like, not stale necessarily, but you get into a certain routines, and big companies tend to be, it tends to be very, very hard to keep that going for a continuous period of time.
And that's why we do this. I mean, we really need to change. We really need to find other ways of doing stuff, and to scale those internally and also towards our clients. And that means, I mean, we need to try to build an innovative culture, which is quite fluffy, I know, but it's about both talking about new stuff and different stuff, I mean, in everyday work, but also given the time. I mean, when we work with our clients, we deliver things in projects. So we work quite traditional with linear ways. So first we do this, and then we do that, and then we deliver.
It's basically a lot of milestones and
Yes,
kind of traditional waterfall planning in the beginning.
Yes. Of course, there are other stuff as well, but we need to work in a more agile way, for example. We need to apply design thinking and to work much more explorative So what we need to do is to make space to do that. Because if you have a tight deadline, you always fall into, I know this stuff, I will do this in my usual way. So to make time to both explore and to be able to fail and be able to try things fast. And that's what we're trying to do now in different ways.
And you actually have organized methodologies around how to innovate.
Yes, yes.
How did they come about? The method.
The secret sauce of innovation. No, it's not so secret, and it's not like rocket science either. It's it's about giving people space to talk about stuff and to have time to think about new things in other settings. So it could be the easy stuff to just we don't work at the office today. Let's go work at somewhere else to see some other people and to get some input. It could be about meeting you guys. I mean, we've had Maya from Worlds visiting us and telling about how you work, so getting inspiration from startups and other companies. But it's also about actually focusing on the different types of phases that you would need for innovation to be creative and use structured tools and methods to do that. To use, for example, design thinking as a method, and to actually put resources, dedicated resources to do innovation. It's not like that you innovate when you have like after dinner, when you need to deliver the project for next day. So you need to have dedicated resources to do it.
And I think talking to people, and this is one of these well-known things, but it's good to mention, we are almost never innovative when we are working on something. We basically have two different modes in our brain, one called the default network and one more the focus network. So when we're trying to complete something, we're almost never coming up with the idea because our mind is really in the prefrontal cortex focusing, and we tend to come up with ideas when we're doing something completely else, and our brain is connecting freely. And there's this short story about Salvador Dali, who is considered one of the most creative people ever, right? And it said that he used to sit with his keys in his hand, and he tried to nod off, and just when he was dropping the keys, he would wake up, and that's part of where he would get a lot of his inspiration from. But generally, kind of going like what you're saying, going out of what would be your traditional thing, not being stressed. Really work actively to prevent people from feeling stressed, because that's when we go into those really, I have to do this, and you go, but do you really?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we don't.
Yeah.
Is it really so important? Like you tend to be able to take that step back when you're not stressed, and it tends to be completely impossible when you are stressed. Just some general thoughts and information about that.
Yeah, but I think that's true, and I mean, to get to know yourself, if we're not looking at, the corporation and organization, but to understand yourself and where do you prosper when it comes to creativity and ideation? Where do you need to be to do that? And what type of, setting and place? Do you need to go out to the forest, or do you want to sit in a cafe, or is it just, it happens in the shower or whatever?
Yeah, that's true. It can be so individual. Where is your space where you get creative?
It's right here.
Right
with
here.
me.
Right here.
On
right
the
here, right
screen.
now.
Right here.
Yeah.
This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, that's a really Buddhistic answer. I like that. You can always respond to someone where, well, man, just come to the moment. Be right here. I feel like that too. But they're like always right.
It's quite avoidant, really, about what you really feel.
Like you can't feel it, but you'd be like, all right, fine, good answer. Yeah. And what about you?
I think actually at conferences, like listening a little bit to the speakers and sitting thinking, and it's dark and it's nice, and it should be inspirational conferences, but then I gotta let the ideas keep flowing with some input while I'm thinking.
And you're a lecturer yourself.
Yes.
You've lectured at WRLDS.
Yeah.
Help.
Paris.
Bergs.
Paris School of Communication.
Yeah.
It's a bit Swedish, a bit English, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge institution. I mean, what is your approach when you're talking to an unknown public?
About
when
innovation.
Right, versus working internally with EY?
No, I would ask the same question as you did. So what do you mean by innovation? I try to do my lecture not as presentations, but keep them quite interactive. And innovation is such a term that all have different views and perspectives on and different experiences. And I mean, in some places like, yes, we do innovate products and that's innovation. And it's only innovation if they're commercialized. If it's not innovation, it's just an idea or invention. And some others like, yeah, it's about everything that is new. So just to get people to explore that with each other to start with and start the discussion about that. And from that, I move on and mix presentation with lecture.
Because that tends to be the really hard part. And I fall into that trap so many times of not knowing, because normally if we are, say that we want to innovate something, right? Let's change the show and do something amazing. Let's turn it into, instead of us being here, that we are actually filming the audience and we can see the audience, and it's like we create this sort of 3D room and virtual reality sort of spaces, whatever it is. But and that's completely fine. And it's so important to when we're having that discussion to not think about how it's going to get done. And it's so hard sometimes because you're not clear on the purpose of meetings or why you're meeting people. So you'd have these people come in and be like, no, but that's impossible, or that will take several years to develop and stuff. That's perfect. We need you, but it's not the discussion right now, right? And that's something that can really kill innovation very, very early. At the same time, if you don't have the discussion, with someone who can do it, a lot of those ideas should be killed, just not at that time.
Yes.
Not at that very moment.
Yeah.
And that's something I find really hard. Is that something you work with or try to get around?
I mean, people that have done that a few years ago and didn't work, or those kind of.
Like when you're opening up to say innovation, say that you're having a meeting and you're like, okay, we need to renovate in around this. Do you run into these difficulties where it is hard, and if so, how do you manage them?
Yeah, I do. Maybe not in the first meeting, I would say. I've been into projects and programs where we've been working for months with stuff, and then when it's going to be executed, that's when it hits the fan. So it's going to hurt me as well. I can't do what I used to do. That could be one thing. People that like to be part of developing something, and then when it's really going to be implemented, then you start to say, no, this is not so good. But on the other hand, yes, in meetings, it could be like, yes, we've tried that and all those things, and I try to involve those people because they're often, like naysayers, they're quite good to have at some points in the innovation process, and to understand where does it come from? Is it because they're personally affected, or do they actually have an experience of the solution that we're talking about? But what was the context, etc. But then we need to say that, okay, so now we're exploring opportunities. Please come back with that feedback when we're about to analyze our solutions or whatever, or select the ones that will be doing it to the next step.
Yeah, exactly, because that's something I really strongly agree on, is that the most important people tend to be the naysayers. These are the people that most of the time, when you have a bright idea, you have to realize it's a piece of shit. You should go into your own idea understanding that, it's probably bad. Like, not in killing your own confidence or anything, but just trying to level off your ego, like a little bit from the start.
Yeah.
And the people who are going to come with the best type of feedback to you are going to be the people who dare to say no. And these are the people that probably knows how to get it done. And that's probably why they say no. So they're so worth to take serious from maybe not from the first meeting, but definitely from the second, third, and fourth meeting, because these are the people that are going to show you the real difficulties and are probably going to be the people that you need to be able to get it done later.
Yeah.
So, and so often I see these people getting kind of crushed.
Yeah.
Specifically when you have a boss coming in wanting to change something, or you have this big thing that just have to roll out for some reason, that isn't properly explained, but someone said, and now this is going to happen. Now we're going to do that, and they're getting kind of crushed in that, and they know all of the problems, So that's something I find is quite common, because you don't want to talk to the naysayers, really.
No.
I mean, it's uncomfortable, right? They're going to be pretty hard on you and your idea, and sometimes that's hard for you to separate, and for them too.
Yes, definitely.
So it's tough.
Who are the real gatekeepers, though, to decision making? I mean, is this something that you actually have a policy on in terms of keeping ideas open, at EY at least?
I mean, it depends on the idea, I think, because there are a lot of ideas that doesn't really need investments, and then it's like, just go try them, and we see if we succeed. But then there are those solutions that might need quite a lot of investment, and then you need, you need the leadership to say, yes, we believe in this, etc. But you also, of course, you need to try it with the user or the customers and the clients to understand, is it actually something to invest in?
Can we wear bunny suits for all forthcoming WRLDS TV episodes?
Absolutely never. I forbid it. No, we can do that.
Okay.
I support it.
Lovely.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do, we will do. With a small caveat, nothing that will get us banned.
Banned?
Banned?
Yeah.
From where?
From Twitch or
Twitch.
Facebook or whatever.
Twitch.
Okay.
It has to pass there. They are kind of the bosses
Challenge
of the stream.
accepted.
What can we do within the boundaries? Yeah, but it's really cool and interesting to talk about, because I know that this is like, and we've been talking about it so many times here, because essentially it cuts down again to the core of all of the changes that are happening now, and there's so many of them, and it's really hard to turn something around, and it's really amazing to sit and be able to hear stuff from companies that are really big and are really old. I've always been in small companies, kind of what you said there. I always think it's better to just do it. And it's typically the best way, often even in big organizations. If there is something you can do, just do it. If you talk with someone, you're going to have a lot of resistance. And there's going to be good resistance, not necessarily bad. But if you do it and you show them, look, here it is. Here is the prototype. Here is the the whatever, the TV episode. Here is this and this and that. Then all of a sudden, it is not a discussion about what they could do. It's a discussion about what you have done for them.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is already maybe good, right? Even if it's shit, it's at least something.
Yes.
And you're showing that you can do that. And that's I think that's sorry, connecting a little bit back to all the entrepreneurs here in Stockholm.
Absolutely.
Is something that I'm surprised to find here, because coming from China, everyone just does stuff. They don't have a lot of money, but you try and you do it, and whatever. My uncle has a factory. I want to have an equal, starting, just doing something, and they fail. Horribly, like so many times, but they try. And here in Sweden, it's very fast. It starts becoming about investors instead of what's the product. And I hear so many ideas where you could probably do this yourself. I'm not saying it's easy. You're gonna have to sacrifice maybe family a little bit. You're gonna have to pay the price for putting in the hours, but it's gonna be so much easier for you to say something when you have something.
Yes.
Because that's, I think, is what people are most worried about. Are you really up for doing it? It's a fine idea, but do you have the guts and the balls to do it?
Yeah.
So
do you
word of balls there,
want to be
suitable for this world?
Cloud level? Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. I was thinking, for example, we need to, within EY, change our ways of delivering projects, but also about how we sell stuff. We normally, if we will play a bit with us, it's like we're bringing a lot of PowerPoints and we try to sell stuff with that to our clients. And times has changed, so we need to come and show things. We can't sell a chatbot with by showing PowerPoint. We need to show a prototype and how it works, and then we get the good discussion. So that, I mean, it's about innovation and doing stuff in doing things, and not telling about that we could do things.
Yeah.
It's about doing and get feedback on that and have a real discussion of what can we use this for.
And why do you think that has changed so much?
I think because it's possible. Because it's possible to do stuff, even though you need to ship in hours and you need to try and you need to fail, it's possible. And for us, as a big, large company, we have a lot of startups or small companies that does this all the time. So we need to keep up with competition. I mean, so I think it's because it's easy and it's not so expensive to do that anymore. Oh yeah, I wouldn't say easy, but I mean,
I know what you're saying.
Anyway.
I mean, like anyone can actually do anything at a completely different level. I'm not saying that it's definitely not easy, but hey, you can search for it and you're probably going to figure out how to do it. Like there's an infinite amount of knowledge if you have the time to search for it. If you want to build an app, build it. You know, if you want to do that, well, go search for it, find it out, right? So that's different. But there may be something else as well that I thought actually a lot about. I think it's also that because we're so connected and everyone is talking, talk just doesn't matter anymore. Like before, you could go, you had the resume of a big company, or even you could just walk up to a company and say, hello, blah, 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 I'm really good at da, 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 and they would hire you. And, you know, if you were a good salesman, you could basically sell anything. You know, you really could, because people were trusting, and people aren't that trusting anymore. And I think it's really killing off a generation of people that don't have that knowledge as well, in a way, you know, who were just good at kind of showing, talking about something.
Yes.
Right? So you can no longer just be good at talking about stuff. You actually have to be good at a little bit of everything about you're talking about, you know? So yeah, it's philosophing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Way,
I mean, getting things done, and it doesn't have to be the right way the first time, but at least you show that you are doing stuff.
Yeah.
And you're capable of getting things out of your hands.
Yeah. Can you hear the wind?
Yes.
It is really windy today.
I wonder
You
how my
can-
boat.
Can you hear the wind?
Yes.
Your boat, the boat is
Yes.
gonna float away.
Yes.
Maybe it's skating away as we're
Yeah,
speaking.
it probably.
But you didn't take it up.
Yes, I did take it up,
Oh,
and I
okay.
covered
Yeah.
it a bit last weekend. But then we thought, that, oh no, it won't be so windy this week, so we will cover it up
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah, no problem. So we have. Sorry about this. We have Shui coming. Shui is my girlfriend. She's been calling me.
Oh, okay.
But, say hi.
Streaming right now.
Find some place. But really cool. I love sailing. So but this is not something we should be talking about on
Next time.
Next time we'll have an episode about sailing. But great. So like kind of going back to innovation. If you would say, how would you say that Ernst & Young has changed in the last couple of years? Like you because you've been there, you said 6 years,
Yes,
right?
6 years.
And it's such a transformatory period right now. And it's going to continue to be for another probably 10 years. A really high tempo.
Yes. I mean, I work in our consulting organization, so we're quite, compared to audit and tax, which works a lot with numbers. So they're transforming themselves with automating their services very much. So that's a big, huge transformation short term.
Yeah.
And when we look upon the things that I've done and what we are working on, it's very much about that we need new capabilities. I mean, people that work with us is normally they studied economy or engineering, more or less. I come from a totally different background. I used to study photography and creative design. And we need a lot of designers now.
Yeah.
We need service designers, we need data scientists, we need tech people, developers. And we've only started to understand that and transform. So we need to talk to our talent market in a totally different way, and also, of course, have totally different performance management where rewards and development for new types of people.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we are better in some places, in some regions, but we need all over the world. And also, I mean, we've been acquiring different companies to get that capability or that talent. So I would say in many ways, and we still have a long way to go to be current and to stay relevant.
Yeah, because I think there's so many different areas where tech used to be something that was not really appreciated, you know, and then we are at that point where either you need to know what's happening in that world because it's transforming everything.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, I'm happy to be, you know, so much involved in the music industry that had to go through such a transformation.
Yeah.
Like complete rebuild it kind of from scratch. Unfortunately, now we have a new giant to fight, Swedish tech company.
Yeah.
You know, but the tech companies becomes kind of the masters, and I'm not sure it's necessarily a better thing. Or I'm not placing it, but it definitely is some form of progress.
Yeah.
And going through that journey is incredibly. It's really hard because it really does change everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you have to? Do you have some music insights here?
Music insights? No, not music. Not really.
But I know you were sending a song earlier.
I was sending a song earlier.
Yeah, you found some song. We were trying to find some music, I think, also.
Oh,
Okay.
for the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to get better with music on the show.
Yes.
It's a part of what we're doing.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Christmas special with music.
With music?
Live
Very
music.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Oh my God, that's
Oh,
soon.
yeah.
We're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
have
it's
to
super
practice.
soon. And write the material.
Oh, and write until. Oh my God.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
gonna be
That's cool.
So, do you think it would be more powerful, more evocative, more now, if we were to innovate off existing Christmas jingles and melodies, or to write our own?
Yes. Please innovate Christmas jingles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of.
I mean, I read about Christmas jingles and Christmas music in shops that they were like torture for the people working there.
Yeah,
Did you read that? Yeah.
I don't need to read it. I mean, like,
and you know.
I'd hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So please
Yeah.
give us some new.
Let's
And
make some
some-
new Christmas songs.
Yes.
New
Like,
Christmas
New
songs.
kinds
Wait,
of
but new
melodies.
melodies,
Yeah.
new
New-
melodies,
yes.
new everything.
Yeah. Come on.
Christmassy in a new way.
I like
Yes.
it. Let's
In a
do
new
that.
way.
I actually
New age
have jingle bells.
Christmas.
I have like the real jingle bells
Right.
thing.
Right.
So we can do that.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly.
Hip hop Christmas.
That's exactly. a
Yo.
Jingle. All right, nice. That's
That's song. That's track one. Jingles.
Track 2.
Standard Christmas. Yeah.
good. I have a perfect name for this. Christian as well. That's kind of cool.
Amen.
Christian.
Oh, wow.
Christian interprets Christmas.
That's beautiful. I feel like we need a Christmas equivalent for the world's ball. I feel like we need to make the invention of the ball a holiday, a global holiday.
Ah, lovely. Do you have a
Isn't
certain
it?
day for that? I
The
mean,
day
for
when
the
the ball was
invention?
invented.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a good question. I think we. I'd have to really find out. I think I got the first version of the ball, but it's a bit over a year ago now.
Make it up. Make it up.
Okay.
Within
I don't want to make it
Within
up because it's like okay. So
365 days.
it's probably in August. Let's say the 10th of August.
Well, it went to sale on 12th of August,
Well,
so
that
that
makes
kind of
sense.
14th of August.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good that we're good with dates.
14th of August.
It's nice.
Yeah.
You know,
Right around.
14th of August.
47th of
Sure.
August. Probably.
Yes,
Somewhere
probably 3 days of holiday. Yeah.
3 days of holiday.
Yeah. Should be.
Yeah.
And you have to give each other balls. That's
Oh,
kind of-
that's
Yes.
lovely, actually.
In the morning, in the evening.
Oh, that's super nice. What is the difference between innovation and novation?
Novation.
This has been a decade-long inquiry I've unmasked into the world.
Novation.
Yeah.
Never heard of novation.
Well, I guess the
It's
idea
like-
of completely
it's like
coming up with
completely
something brand
different?
new.
Oh.
Innovating relies on the existence of something
Okay. Yeah.
and
Okay. Yeah.
correcting or
Yes.
realigning it, whereas novation is just like, Alexander,
Hello.
world's the holiday.
Yeah. Then I guess like innovation is more the process of getting there to innovation. I don't know.
Getting to innovation. Oh, yeah.
But I have never heard that word either. I have to be honest.
Maybe made it
For
up.
me, that's like a
That's
like a brand of instruments.
No. Oh yeah, innovation. Oh yeah,
They make
that's
like-
true.
Yeah.
They make MIDI controllers, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
I
that's
mean,
my opinion. I'm like
yeah.
that's why I'm a little bit silent. I'm starting to be like, huh,
Yeah,
smart name
Yeah.
they got those guys.
totally. But if we if we presume
roll
that
with
it's
that.
true, that it's a word, novation. And audience, by the way, feel free to chip in. Is it a real word? Go to dictionary.com and hey, help, help, SOS. Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nova, Star,
Nova,
isn't
yeah.
that? Maybe someone will
Nova.
tell you. No, I don't know.
Novo. No.
But we were kind of talking a little bit about that when we're trying to define what is innovation, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean, to a certain degree, that's the. I don't really think you ever invent something new, and I know that sounds really horrible
yeah.
and boring.
In a
but I just really don't
commercial
think you ever do that.
sense, probably not.
I think you should understand, and I think it's more like you can define the word any way you want.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. I mean, and I'm sure there is a definition. But I'm saying I don't think defining or thinking that you're inventing something completely new is helpful for you at all.
Right.
I think it's a
No.
very destructive way of thinking about yourself and your ideas.
But can you be spectacularly good at innovating? Can you measure how much of an innovator you are?
That's,
I
you know,
think if you're offering it as a service at EY, there must be some
There must be-
KPIs. KPIs, come
how
on.
much does innovation cost?
How much does it cost? Yeah, but I mean, you could compare organizations and, for example, how much they invest in innovation in terms of investments, resources, people, capabilities.
Yeah.
That is focused on actually doing new stuff. And you could, of course, also measure how much of that new stuff you sell, for example, or how many new projects or how much revenue you get on your new services or whatever it is. And if that measures how good you are in innovation, I'm not sure, but there's loads of different ways of trying to measure, but seems to be nothing like this is the one and only way to measure innovation. It's not like that.
I don't even have a
and that's
single metric though.
No, but that's a really good metric, and I think a lot of companies actually use that. You tend to
The-
look
the
at your
cost of
total
it.
sales
Right.
and how much of those sales are actually in products that you say developed in the last or released in the last 3 years or whatever,
yeah.
whatever
Right.
a long time period that you think are fitting. And it's one of those hyper dangerous metrics for a company in my world specifically because you tend to think that a product has a necessary life cycle, right? That a product comes and then it falls and then it dies, and you're looking at the product but not the need. So you start actually moving away again from, but hey, that's a universal need, and we can continue to solve that need. Maybe we have to reinvent the product a little bit every now and then, but you kind of think, no, we have to go to somewhere else. You have to go to another market. You have to like find something completely new, and you know, kind of going back to that innovation versus innovation. It really depends on how much resources you have, right? I mean, how much resources do you have available? Whether you know you should do it, or maybe you should just stick to what you have. If something is working, I mean, fight for it, right? I think it's really easy to be like, oh, we did that. Let's do
Addicted.
the next. What's the next
addicted
thing? You know?
to change.
Yeah.
We have a definition for innovation thanks
yes.
to Peter Fosso.
Peter Fosso,
Hey.
thank you so much. You're a
Yes.
hero.
Yes, Peter's been on the show before
Yeah.
too.
And we're
Back in
winning
like
here.
episode
think.
2 or something.
You're not gonna like this.
Novation in contract law and business law is the act of, replacing an obligation to perform with another obligation or adding an obligation to perform. That's not what I meant.
That's not correct, Peter. Now you have
Peter,
to go out and correct
Try
internet.
again. Yeah, correct.
Yes, correct
the
That
definitions.
internet.
Bad internet.
Wrong. Yeah. But thank you.
But then, you know,
Thank you anyway.
Nice to chat.
I like theories that that if they're wrong, then the reality is wrong. It's not It's not the theory that can never be disproven.
No.
I just want to
So this is
delete
one
his
of those-
comment. I'm like,
Yeah, here we
right.
go. We're starting to moderate, tapping it up. But we got what you meant, and the discussion is
Yeah.
really interesting.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
ever really make something new?
yeah. Yeah.
And does it matter?
And does that even matter? Does it
And
matter? And how do
who-
you matter? How do you
Who
match
does the
it?
genius get attributed to? I mean, in an organization like EY, you know, like who owns that creative godliness?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think we would have one person. Then, of course, if it's a technical solution that we've developed, there's probably a few people that are involved and that we know. But looking at how we work is much more crowdsourcing in working with everybody. We don't really have those heroes.
Right.
Even though we, of course, have a lot of heroes
Yeah.
that does good things every day,
Yeah.
but it's not like highlighting the inventor or
Right. Because
the
that can be
inventor of the year or
yeah, because that can be both a motivator and also something that turns people off from innovating if they don't have the attribution for the idea, or if someone in management takes the credit, then that can really cause people to be silent and withhold
Yeah.
ideas to themselves.
yeah. So that that would rather be the opposite. We want to involve everybody, even though they feel that I don't know anything about blockchain. How can I contribute? But I mean, come on, get into
Get
the process.
into this.
Yeah.
Yes, whatever. Yeah, yes.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but also, I mean, if you're not good at tech, you probably yet understand the problem that we're trying to solve, or the need with the client or the customer, or you could get into it.
Yeah. No, that's actually something that we noticed also in the hackathon. We've been talking about when we're doing this sort of stuff. And what's really interesting about in Stockholm Music Tech Fest as well was that there was a lot of people who didn't know anything.
Yeah.
You know, either about music or tech or anything, right? But these people tend to be the most important people in a project because you really need to put together a group of people that can work together and that can see this from all sorts of perspective. And the moment that you have technical knowledge, you are really shitty at judging the overall project that you're working on, and you tend to have no idea what the customer is gonna think or like or want. I mean, it just gets blown out. I think being aware of your own ego in those situations is like so important, and it's incredibly hard. But yes.
Yeah,
that's
especially
really-
if you're an expert in in
Yeah, like
then
me.
it's like yes.
Right.
In everything.
Yeah, yes.
And everything.
Yes.
He's an expert at
A
expertise. Yeah.
general expert.
Yeah, I'm an expert.
Yeah.
That's that's what I want in my
E
lower
squared.
third. Expert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, nice. Thank you. Gonna use that.
It's yours,
Oh,
please.
beautiful. I
Yes.
stole it. That was my idea. Just talking about stealing ideas. No, but you're right. And I think there's nothing more demoralizing for anyone than to feel like they have had their idea stolen. And the interesting thing is that the idea doesn't matter at all. I mean, I think after a while I mean, the idea just doesn't matter. It's the execution. You know, are you gonna make it or not? In the end, that's what's gonna matter. And then people can come say, "Oh, what a great idea," and I'd be like, I don't know. There was a lot of people involved in the creation of this, and I can tell you for a fact that whatever idea I had at the start, that's not at all where we are right now. We're somewhere much better, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's like when you have that collaborative, iterative movement through a project kind of life cycle, then that's so important to not get stuck on the idea of things,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Maybe the vision, what you want to
Yeah, yeah.
change in the world, that's great, but it has to be this, it has to do this, that's not gonna matter. Really. But your ideas are the best.
Exactly.
I just want to.
I don't know,
Her ideas are always. you
I
always do.
cling into this identity of being this mad scientist, and I don't particularly care if my ideas get executed. I just have so much fun creating them, actually.
But that's
That's
another
fine.
Actually, and I
too,
think that's
but-
pretty common.
yeah.
And then the fear of having your idea sink. That's a thing too,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
being penalized and the shamefulness of innovating and not quite. Like,
So that's
like beginning the process and then really wishing you didn't open your mouth in the first place.
Yes. So that's a reason to not to execute it, to keep it like this glorious idea that will solve everything.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
basically,
Shame. The company shame.
Yeah.
Like,
you
that
like
was
to
a
be-
stupid
but
idea.
I think that's the problem of being a genius, right?
Right.
You know, like you are.
I bear
It's
this
like-
burden.
No, but
You're so smart that you actually don't want to get credit for your great ideas because you know what a horrible drag it would be. So you just keep them for yourself,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I actually had that
Yeah.
discussion with a friend and a partner of mine. We had an idea and a solution for that, and then at some point she didn't want us to tell about it because if we share the idea, someone would steal it. It's like, yeah, but it's about the execution of it, and we're not near that. So it's like, why don't we share it and we get some input to actually make it work better?
I still want a record of attribution. I want a split sheet. What's in the music industry? Like I want a split sheet from the get-go, from the onset. It's like, we're going to innovate. You all have permission to contribute as a team, but we're going to make little naughty notes.
I agree with you. I generally think when you're starting something new and you have a team together and we have this idea and we have set, okay, I have this many hours, I have this much time, and we are all set, good, professional enough to know that we can, you know, we want this, we have a vision clear, all of that basic is done. Then we should use blockchain, right? And set up a DAO so we can have that just automatically sharing everything. But I mean, even if you don't use the blockchain, which you could use, and it's awesome, check out DAO Stack. It's quite amazing what they're doing right now
Cool.
in making organizations completely on the blockchain. But I mean, that's essentially what a company is, right? And that's how you try to set it up in the beginning of the company. But it's always going to be this issue where people come in, people come out, people do this, and it's really, really hard to attribute things to people in a correct way through a traditional company method. It really is. Maybe you're as a coder, you create a lot of derivative work. I mean, maybe you only work for like 3 months, but what you have done is like some core genius functionality that is just creating so much derivative work that is creating so much revenue for the company, and that's not being rewarded at all. You know, maybe you have a little, you know, commented out an area in the code that other developers can be like, oh, he made this, but you know, no one else would ever know, right?
Right.
So I mean, I think it's really hard, and I think the moment we get stuck on who is owning an idea, we always get stuck in not going forward, and sometimes we have to stop and pause and maybe not move forward to solve it so that we're all happy again. But it's really dangerous to think that an idea is yours, you know, or that you own it. And I think even for a big company, that's typically what's happening in big companies, right? They come to a point. I mean, look at probably Apple is a great example after Steve Jobs in a way. They're still moving forward, but it's a lot of patents. It's a lot of looking back. If people are copying us, what are we going to do about it? You know, and you're focusing so much of your resources on and showing your entire organization that what we're after. I mean, whatever you do, you're doing with your whole organization. You need to remember that. If you're increasing the budget for that, everyone knows that. Everyone sees that. Everyone is going to be like, are we really? So we're not as much innovation anymore. Okay. Well, maybe I should have a little bit better pay then. I mean, if we can pay these guys so much, then why not pay me a little bit more? You know, like it's really kind of dangerous, right? And you're playing these kind of dangerous games with people that you're working with and ideas that you may have and want to get done.
We've got about 5 more minutes, so audience, if you want to ask some questions, please go ahead. And maybe time to close the conversation.
No way. We're gonna go over by an hour or 2. Yeah, I'm really good at not getting this done on time.
Closing.
Not closing. Not closing. We'll keep the discussion
I-
open.
I feel like I need to manipulate the time devices.
But I think you've been so good
Just
lately.
kidding. Yeah.
Innovation. Yeah.
She's been really innovative when it comes to
time.
ending. It's like, everyone put your finger here.
Gamifying ending things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're trying to
Gamifying
make
time
it-
management.
It's like how you distract me. She knows me. She's like, oh, you just make it fun for him. Oh, press the button, yes.
Hey,
So transparent.
do you
I hate when it's
you can-
transparent and it
wait?
works.
Do
That's
you want
the
to
worst.
press one button?
Yeah.
Here's a button for
Can I
you.
press a button?
If we finish in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. You can press that button. We're giving away a World's Ball to a lucky winner today. And I'm going to tell you who the winner is.
Okay.
And you can announce it if we finish in 4 minutes.
All right, I will. Okay.
If.
Can I announce it now, though?
Okay. The winner is Katarina Wangler Björk.
Okay.
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 Go ahead.
So the winner of today's ball
Yeah?
is our guest.
Oh, my
Katarina Björk.
I won!
Oh,
I did
my
it!
gosh.
Oh, lovely. Thank
Beautiful.
you. And I'm going to play the fart game with my kids.
Yes.
Yes.
We hope
Nice.
so.
Lovely.
We hope so.
Nice. And I think
Thank you.
welcome in.
It's the peak of our professional career. It's very far game.
Fart
Spent
game.
so much time
Yeah.
developing a ball.
And our developer,
that
Willie, is actually watching the
Yeah,
stream.
Willie.
So there you go. There's another happy customer.
Really,
Yay.
you have made my life so much happier.
Exactly. Immortalized worlds
Yeah,
with the fart game.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
Um,
don't fart at all at once. I need to work on that. I need to. Yeah.
So today we've talked a little bit about innovation. If there is some questions about it, don't be afraid to ask them. I think we have at least an hour left of the show.
well,
so just go ahead.
Or just
ask.
comment in the box and we will respond soon. You want to know who's on next week's show?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we have.
Beautiful. Oh my God! No, I'm always
Wait,
doing
can
this.
you
Why
read
am I
it?
always in the way?
Oh, you're in the way. Right. Okay.
Do like this.
Okay. Johanna
Genau.
Fagerstedt.
Lovely.
She's the head of marketing at Quinix, which is an expert in workforce management. So they offer a web-based solution for rota management, time reporting, and absence management for labor-intensive organizations. So if you have a big company or medium-sized company or something that's really complex like ours,
Like this right
like
here.
this, very, very complexicating, ask your questions ahead of time and we'll feed them over to Johanna for the week coming. Thank you so much. Thank you. And you've been a wonderful guest.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for the conversation. So fun.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
interesting to talk
So
about.
lovely.
I mean, these are really great topics, and we could for sure go on. I always wanted to go on much longer, but hopefully we can also continue the talks and have more discussions with you out there. So don't be afraid. Like you said, comment, talk. We'll be there in the comments, of course, and hopefully, I mean, this is a theme that's gonna come back. It
Innovation.
definitely is.
Yeah. Yeah. Closing words.
Closing words.
If you would.
Keep the ball bumping.
Bump the balls.
Yeah.
Bump the balls.
Bump the balls. Okay. Bump the balls. Okay. Are we ready to end this show? Thank you all for watching out there. We're
So
going to
can
do
I
a big...
press any button?
Oh, we all have to do this together, actually. This is a rule.
okay.
So this
So
end
that-
button.
The blue
button.
one.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we're going to wave to the camera. Thank you all for watching. See you next
Thank you.
Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.